motif gems, hand-cut by master diamond cutters for fiery brilliance and sparkle. Set in 14-karat solid gold, the same designer mountings we put our diamonds in, unconditionally guaranteed. Motif, the ultimate diamond alternative. Rings, pendants, earrings at Davison's from $35 to $620.
Beyond the carols and the gifts, the stringing of popcorn, dreams of reindeer pawing on the roof, and toasts to the new year, Treasury Drug knows the other side of the holidays. For the other side of the holidays and all the mornings after, trust Treasury Drug.
Treasury Drug, the one you can trust.
Freedom. It's a great feeling. To do what you want to do, be what you want to be. Chaz. Chaz Aftershave and Cologne for Men is dedicated to that feeling of freedom. Chaz for Men. It's a great feeling.
The Chaz breakaway bag, just $18.50 with any $5 Chaz purchase at Davison's.
Earl Weaver and Jockey brand underwear have a lot in common. Earl is quality, Jockey is quality. Earl is colorful, Jockey underwear is colorful. And comfort and quality were their first concern when Jockey invented the classic brief in 1934. The same year Earl started managing.
Palmer, if you pitch like Jockey makes underwear...
I know, we never lose a game.
Jockey, more than a name, a commitment.
Coming up right after tonight's PM magazine, the Atlanta Boy Choir in Europe. Another 5 presents 1 hour special. We followed them from the two festivals, the Festival of Two Worlds in Spoleto to St. Peter's Basilica in Rome.
And tomorrow night, you'll find out what it's like to be weightless, and we'll also meet Kathy Miller and learn about her courageous comeback.
We'll show you a medical advance that could save serious head injury victims and a good idea for a family with 2 paychecks. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. See you tomorrow night.
Good night.
Wardrobe furnished by J.P. Allen. John Patrick's Wardrobe furnished by Zachary.
Anthony Wiley, found guilty of murdering Gene Bice in a Decatur park, is sentenced to life in prison. We'll have the full story tonight at 11 on Eyewitness News Update.
Tatiana. It entices. It captivates. It seduces.
This Christmas, Richway fills the air with music. And with Richway's selection and prices on albums and tapes, you can please everyone on your Christmas list for a song. This week, Rod Stewart's Tonight I'm Yours on Warner Brothers is just $5.79. The Rolling Stones' Tattoo You on Atlantic is just $5.79. And Queen's Greatest Hits on Elektra is just $5.79. This Christmas, give the gift of music from Richway.
Christmas shopping?
Yeah, and
looks like you saved on everything you needed at Eckerd.
Yeah, like
the 1-pound Whitman sampler for just $3.29.
Yeah,
and the 30-inch jumbo roll of foil or paper gift wrap for just 99 cents.
Yeah.
And of course, 2 rolls of LePage thrift tape for just 77 cents. Now, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think I covered everything.
Christmas is closer than you think. So's Eckerd.
WAGA-TV, Atlanta. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer will not be seen due to the following very special program. Tonight. Tonight, Don Smith is your host as 5 presents another in our continuing series of locally produced television specials. Tonight, the Atlanta Boy Choir in Italy.
In just a little more than 2 weeks, 58 young gentlemen from Atlanta saw and did all that you're seeing and more. Under the direction of Maestro Fletcher Wolf, under the supervision of Carlton Davis and his cadre of counselors, and with the help of a contingent of grown-ups, the members of the Atlanta Boy Choir Touring Ensemble did what they always do, brought distinction to themselves and to our city by the quality of their singing and the caliber of their deportment. It all began, as will we, in the town of St. Francis.
Good evening. It is a pleasure for those of us at Bank of the South to co-sponsor this program on the Atlanta Boy Choir. As you know, the Atlanta Boy Choir has a long-standing tradition for excellence and quality. At the same time, however, it is just one of the many cultural institutions building the quality of life here in Atlanta, for which we can all be most thankful. These institutions deserve our support and our interest. Thank you for watching, and best wishes to all of you for a most happy and enjoyable holiday season.
Nights alone, since you went away, I think about you all through the day, my buddy.
You could be a buddy to a boy without a father. You could be a big brother now, couldn't you?
Your buddy misses
300 Atlanta kids are waiting for you, brother. Call 522-1241.
Look at all these great GE electronics. Just what my kids are wishing for this Christmas. Wish I could afford them.
You can at Richway. This week, the GE Home & Go audio system is $159.99. The Stereo Escape portable cassette player is $69.99. And GE's Great Awakening programmable clock radio is $84.99 during Richway's GE sale. Any more wishes?
Yeah. I wish I were a kid again.
Don't trim your Christmas list. Just trim the cost at Richway.
Hi, it's me, Ray Stevens, helping your local flavor-rich farm families deliver fresh dairy products this season, like flavor-rich eggnog or flavor-rich sour cream. All our products are flavor-rich fresh from dairy farms near you. So, look for our family crest and make this holiday dinner your best ever. Right, Rudolph? Flavor-rich. Is this your first flight? Freshness from our family to yours.
Having landed in Rome, the boys were taken by bus to Assisi. And in the shadow of the Basilica of St. Francis, high on the hill above, they got their orders of the evening from Chief Counselor Carlton Davis.
Everybody got all your flight bags, all your cameras and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Tonight after dinner, what we're going to do is just go back to the rooms and we'll take a walk first and just walk right around out here. And then we'll go to bed early, because I know everybody's probably tired. Have an early breakfast in the morning, then we'll tour a city.
One of the most important things probably is that we try to have them eat at the same times every day so that they don't get irregular in that sense. And also, no beef, or very seldom any beef, but usually a lot of veal, a lot of chicken, that kind of thing, green vegetables, some salad depending on the region again, where it is and how well the food's prepared. And I'm real bad about going into kitchens and watching them wash food and saying, no, we're not going to eat that, and yes, we are. And so I don't make very many European chef friends, so to speak, but we try to watch their diet. So water, of course, is the first thing. We buy tons of bottled water. So we give them a lot of bottled water, and then sometimes you can't get bottled water, so Coca-Cola is the only thing that I know, because the milk you can't trust. And so soft drinks, lemonade, Coca-Cola, that kind of thing, are the only things that you can really trust as having a lower level of bacteria in them so that they won't make them sick. You can drink the water in Europe if you're over there for 2 or 3 months and you have time to let your system get acclimated. But I don't have time to go through that with 60 little boys going through Montezuma's revenge, so to speak.
The boys need plenty of fuel. They do plenty of walking, and in Umbria, where the town of Spoleto is, there are plenty of hills to climb. The first full day in Italy, Friday, was devoted to a news conference and a rehearsal. A small group of boys went into town for the news conference.
We arrived yesterday, and the boys are very happy to be in Italy. We love Italy, and looking forward to singing in Spoleto. This is our first time being in Spoleto. We're all very excited about the concert tomorrow night.
But everybody was there for the rehearsal, including Maria Pia Fanfani. She is the wife of Amintore Fanfani, formerly Prime Minister and now President of the Italian Senate. And she is one of the best friends the boy choir has.
Emily Dalvin, who is President Carter's Aunt Sissy, has been a sort of a dear love of mine for many, many years, way before anybody heard of Jimmy Carter, and has gone on tour with us for many years. And this particular tour, we were in Italy, was when Jimmy Carter was president, and Maria P. had been at the White House for a state function or something. Then she came and heard the boys sing, and it was love at first sight. And from then on, Maria Pia has been like their second mama, and probably will be till the end of time.
The boys had a special surprise for Maria Pia.
And we wish we could stay this time. Used to be she could stay. Now it's us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fletcher.
Pleasantries over, it was back to work. Fletcher Wolf takes rehearsing very seriously.
1, 2. Let's do it one more time, okay? Slow forward, something like that. Slow forward, subdivided. 1 and 2.
If you've been around anybody who does anything, everybody must do that. You can't be mamby-pamby and accomplish anything. I mean, you can be lovely to the world and do nothing. You've got to decide what is going to be done. And I think I'm very nice, actually. Most of the people that I'm impatient with are the people who should know better. I mean, these people whose it's their business. And I cannot, abide people who are not prepared for the thing that they're going to do. And I think from the standpoint of the boys, they're much better to deal with than adults because they're much more understanding.
In Spoleto, at the Festival of Two Worlds, there was a small orchestra to accompany the boys, in addition to pianist Walter Huff. Among its members, 3 people who would be on the entire trip: Sam and Sylvia Spinack and Pauline Sandsgrove. Saturday, and the boys take their first sightseeing trip to the Basilica of St. Francis in the town of Assisi, also in the region of Umbria, and also well supplied with hills. This basilica is really 2 churches. The lower one is Romanesque, the upper the earliest Gothic church in Italy. There are frescoes by Cimabue and Giotto and Lorenzetti and Martini. The body of St. Francis is here. And near the end of the tour, when we asked several of the boys what they remembered best, this was mentioned often.
Assisi, I guess.
Why?
Because it's so big and it's pretty.
What's your favorite?
The Basilica, I would say, of St. Francis.
While some of us were at the Basilica, other people were back at the hotel doing necessary work. For instance, Sandra Crawford, ironing the robes the boys would wear at the evening's concert.
Everyone works. Everyone works. I'll probably iron robes every time, but I'll do other things too. And other people will do other things and iron robes. It takes a lot of people to iron 58 robes.
The church in Spoleto was packed for the boys' performance. With festival founder Giancarlo Menotti and Maria Pia, of course, in the audience, Wolf began the concert with Benjamin Britten's Ceremony of Carols. One thing, among many, that distinguishes the Atlanta Boy Choir is the range of its repertoire. This selection, Stanchion, requires meticulous singing, especially by its soloist, in this case, Trey Cosby. And what is it like to be out there?
It's just like you're in a dark world and you know everybody's behind you and you're just singing, trying not to black out or mess up or anything like that, and you just have to do everything that you can to do it right.
Trey, by his own account, is also a good example of what being in this choir can do for a young man.
Tell me how you feel about Mr. Wolf.
Well, me and him used to not get along too good until about 2 years ago. And I just started straightening up, and he saw it in me, and he just thought I've done best, and now we've become the best of friends. I used to be a bad kid, and then he's straightened me out. He's straightened a lot of people out. He says that people would grow up to be real nerds if you didn't straighten them out.
As a matter of fact, a lot of kids that most people would hate and don't like at all, I like very much. And they're the best people. It's just that people don't understand them. I mean, and once, if there's one thing that I can do that a lot of people can't do, it's that. I mean, I can spot a kid who's having a horrible time in the world, and because of my working with him, and because of my strictness with this person, he can make a complete change about and become a different human being. The problem is that nobody's ever been honest with him. They have never said, you are really awful, you're really horrible, and if you keep doing that, you're going to end up just out in the woods, and every time you do it, I want you to know that you're going to have to pay the penalty, and it's going to be just that way, and there is no difference. And if you want to snap to and do what's right, I'll be willing to, I will love you, and I'll think you're the greatest thing in the world. And once they can really come to grips with that, then they know that whatever they do, they'll be rewarded for, and whatever they don't do, they will not be rewarded for. And it's, to me, the people that most people would sort of chuck off and say, he's useless, he's no good, these are always the greatest people to me. And there's something about them because they are sensitive, and they are going to show the world that if you won't accept me, then I'll do you in. Do you know? That's true. And if you can reverse that energy and that creativity in a good direction, that happens about once a week.
I think, first of all, many of the people, when they see him with the boys in a concert situation or a pressured situation, would think he was a tyrant or, you know, just an ogre. But he's actually not. I mean, I see him, you know, hugging one at a concert after a concert, and I see him doing a lot of things that other people don't. I know how much he loves the boys, know how much he loves me, and cares about us. Probably the tyrant thing would be the biggest thing that people have a misconception. But there are times when you have to do that. And the boys understand that. That's what's so amazing about them. I think even more so than adults, that the boys understand that there are times when you have to do the things you have to do. And I think that's one of the most important things that the choir teaches the boys, is that there are times to be serious and work hard, and that there are times to play and be silly. And I think in the growing up process of the boys in the choir, that's one of the most important things they learn, how to discipline themselves, when to discipline yourself, and when to let yourself go.
The boys will sing at the drop of Fletcher's or Carlton's hand, and some of their most affecting performances are the impromptus, such as this one for the staff of the hotel in Assisi. It was Sunday, and with rave reviews already in print for their appearance in Spoleto the night before, the boys sung at Mass in the basilica they had toured the day before. Afterwards, they met Maria Pia's husband and presented him with a Hans Frabel sculpture. Presentation concluded, they got to visit parts of the St. Francis Monastery they had not seen, from which they could view, if you will pardon the pun, La Dolce Vista. Then, it was on the buses for the drive to Venice. The tour was 2 days and 2 concerts old. There were 2 weeks to go.
Oh, my Lord.
This Christmas, make a big impression for just a little money. Give her one of these good-looking sweaters from Richway. They're just $6.99 this week. Give her pastel stripes or brights. And with so many styles to choose from at just $6.99 each, you can choose to give her quite a few. But you'd better choose fast, because at just $6.99, they'll go quick as a wink. This year, don't trim your Christmas list, just trim the cost at Richway.
Have you heard? Bank of the South's got these new 12-month tax-exempt certificates. Invest $500 or more and you don't pay a penny in federal taxes on the first $1,000 interest, or the first $2,000 on a joint return. Tax-exempt certificates from Bank of the South. They're good for you. When you save, it's good for the country. Stop by Bank of the South soon.
Ace Hardware Theater presents Santa's Little Helper.
I always thought Santa had gift-giving in the bag. So did he. What to do? Go see a real Santa's helper, the helpful Ace Hardware man. He makes holiday shopping a real holiday. So when you need help playing Santa this Christmas, remember, Ace is the place with the helpful hardware man.
It takes all kinds of people to make up the world. Some babies will grow up to be doctors and lawyers. Some will be glamorous movie stars, and some won't. But they all have a better chance if they come from a good home. This Christmas, adopt one of the little people born at Babyland General Hospital and give a kid a chance. The only real little people are created by Xavier Roberts. For the adoption center nearest you, call 1-800-282-4211.
Venice, a city of 118 small islands with its 100 canals and 400 bridges, is the kind of place you'd expect to find a naval school. You would not be disappointed. Neither were the boys when they saw where they'd be staying the 2 nights in Venice.
That was undoubtedly the boys' favorite place to stay on the whole trip. Dormitory style, 10 beds to a room. Everybody took showers together. Oh, it's great.
This was the boys' first chance to play. Just plain, flat play.
I wish that some of these people who think that the choir boys, our choir boys' assistants, would have to take some of them on sometime or see them out there on the soccer field.
And they went at it, supervised, as always, by Carlton Davis and his counselor staff, who all know just what the boys are going through.
They know I've been where they are. I started when I was 7 years old, and I'm 27 now. I've been with the choir for 20 years. The other counselors have all been in the choir, and I think that's where the respect comes from.
There was only one performance in Venice in the Frari Basilica. Begun in 1333, this church boasts an extraordinary collection of art, most prominent of which is the massive Assumption by Titian, which is behind and above the altar. of the newer works the choir sings is called I Never Saw Another Butterfly. It is a setting of poems by young Jewish children who lived in the ghetto of Terezin and died in the gas chambers. It is a favorite piece of many of the boys, its message of doomed hope and destroyed dreams seeming especially clear to these young people. And in no other place did the strains of Ave Maria seem any more appropriate. The next stop, Verona, city of Romeo and Juliet. The balcony is a little smaller than you might have imagined it, especially if you believe the picture on the souvenir plates. Juliet's tomb lies empty, and we did not meet Shakespeare's two gentlemen. But we did see Verona's splendid arena, which is in much better shape than the Colosseum, and which had its huge stage set for Aida.
Quanto tempo avete girato a disposizione per questo?
And the truth is, we met a splendid gentleman and his wife in the Park Sigurta, 125 privately owned acres of spectacular beauty. Maria Pia did her courting in this villa. The boys sang for their hosts, enjoyed refreshments, and got to see the champion carp caller of Italy summon his well-trained goldfish.
Venite tutti qui. Look. Look what he calls this fish. Hey, move on around, please.
The gentleman made his money in pharmaceuticals and has spent a lot of it making a place of great loveliness.
How do they do that?
The itinerary called next for Florence, the city of Dante, Boccaccio, and Petrarch. The boys had a concert in the Hall of 500 at the Palazzo Vecchio. But first, we had to get boys, baggage, and buses up some treacherous hills. And before it got all figured out, it looked like half of Italy got involved in the discussion on how best to do it, if indeed it could be done at all.
That's quite a Christmas list.
I got a lot of friends. Guess I'm a popular guy.
Then it's a good thing you came to Richway, because this week the Sunbeam Fresh Air Machine is $16.99 with rebate, and the Daisy Deluxe Heated Foot Saver is $19.99 with rebate.
They're gonna love me.
They'll love our Mr. Coffee 10-cup coffee maker, too. $14.99 with rebate.
You know, after this Christmas, I'm gonna be even more popular.
Don't trim your Christmas list. Just trim the cost at Richway.
Great movie. Hey, how about a Hardee's big roast beef sandwich?
Hey, where's the truck? Where'd we park it? I'll look over here. I'll look this way.
Oh, just hurry, I'm starving.
Hardee's big roast beef is another word for tenderness.
Hardee's.
Yeah.
Sliced in,
juicy, and it's another way to say best.
I thought you were supposed. Let Hubcap find it.
How did you know that we'd be here?
It was a sign from above.
Best eating in town, up and down and all around.
Morning, Pam. New Maxwell House Master Blend coffee?
It's the new ground coffee that can save us money.
Saves money, fine, but how does it taste? That means it tastes like Maxwell House.
New Maxwell House Master Blend, 100% pure ground coffee. Not concentrated, not flaked. We make it a special way so you can save money.
Great coffee.
I know.
New Maxwell House Master Blend. Great tasting coffee that can save you money.
PM Magazine, entertainment and a whole lot more. On Tuesday's show, we'll pay a visit to NASA's incredible Johnson Space Center in Houston to take a test ride an amazing machine. Inside, you become weightless just as in space. Then you'll meet Kathy Miller, whose life 4 years ago came to a screeching halt in a car wreck. She was in a coma for 10 weeks. Since then, she's had to completely rebuild herself, including learning everything all over again. To learn about her courageous story, Tuesday on PM Magazine, Atlanta's #1 favorite at 7:30.
Well, they made it, safe and sound. The way Carlton always gets the boys everywhere.
But the boys come first. My primary responsibility is the safety of those boys, of other people's children. And we've never lost one. We've never had one hurt. We've had a few catch the flu or have a case of diarrhea or something like that. But my #1 responsibility is the safety of the boys.
The choir's first appearance in Florence was at the Duomo. The boys sang their music in Latin while the Mass was said in English. Saturday's program is in the Hall of 500 at the Palazzo Vecchio. There does not seem to be an undecorated inch of wall or ceiling, and even the ceremonial attendants were strikingly adorned. Listening to this music by Henry Purcell, it's hard to believe that Fletcher never set out to direct the boy choir.
I still don't even regard myself as a boy choir director because I never, the boy choirs that I heard I didn't like. Through the years, I've developed what's our own sound, and it's developed on the basis of what good singing is all about. It has nothing to do with trying to make a boy's voice sound like an organ pipe or a flute or anything like that. It's just making it be very natural. And to me, that's the beauty of the sound, is the natural quality. You realize that everything is so simple that you shouldn't force anything, that everything happens because it works naturally, and particularly with boys and their voices. A week before, we had been headed from Assisi to Venice. This Sunday, we were on the road to Rome, with a stop at Orvieto for the boys to get a quick art history lesson from Fletcher's wife, Bobby.
Almost totally the same.
And a brief lecture on feudalism from Carlton.
Probably lived in the house.
We had a week left in Italy.
Have you heard? Bank of the South's got these new 12-month tax-exempt certificates. Invest $500 or more and you don't pay a penny in federal taxes on the first $1,000 interest, or the first $2,000 on a joint return. Tax-exempt certificates from Bank of the South. They're good for you. When you save, it's good for the country. Stop by Bank of the South soon.
Richway presents a price on flannel shirt so low, it may soon become a legend. Just $3.99 for all kinds of plaids, all kinds of colors. $3.99. Richway's price on men's Levi's jeans is something, too. Just $13.99 for denims. So get to Richway fast, because with flannel shirts for $3.99 and Levi's for $13.99, people will be talking about this sale long after it's over. This year, don't trim your Christmas list, just trim the cost at Richway.
Imagine all the things you can make with the fresh dough of Pillsbury biscuits. Ah, donuts. I remember when my mother used to make donuts.
That's funny. My mother always called these biscuits.
Oh, biscuits, sure. But just imagine if we cut holes in the centers, fried them in oil, and dipped them in sugar, then what would we have?
Donuts.
You'll find this and other recipes on labels of Pillsbury biscuits. Just imagine the possibilities.
TV5 Eyewitness News Update. A big name, a big commitment. New stories break.
At 7:30, the Raid Task Force made its move on the first of 4 targeted nude dancing clubs.
Old stories change.
And because of the noise, the city of Atlanta is proposing to buy 159 of their homes.
TV5 Eyewitness News Update. Weeknights at 11. Tomorrow's headlines tonight on 5.
The final week in Rome began with a farewell as Sam played O Sole Mio in final salute to our bus drivers who were being relieved. And Maria Pia provided a gracious sit-down dinner at her Rome apartment.
Those like tater tots. Mm-hmm. Or derps.
Don't know.
I think. Yeah, they're good.
Do you like, do not like too much. Too much.
What a real. She said, I wonder if her teeth are real.
We are so happy to have everybody here in our house this year.
The boys eventually dressed down a bit for the evening's festivity into their Maria Pia t-shirts, and the lady repaid the compliment. Philip Gordon celebrated a birthday. The president led the chorus. And gave a brief recital of his own. The boys' first recital in Rome was the only outdoor performance on the trip at the Academy of Music. In addition to the regular routine of rehearsal, Fletcher led them in a less serious group activity. As the boys performed here, they had 2 more major concerts to come, one for Italy's president and a mass in the Vatican. This was Wednesday, and we were leaving Sunday, but the boys already had a rich store of memories.
The best part, I would say, was when we went to the villa. I remember the St. Francis in Assisi, and I remember practically all of it. I'm keeping a diary, so I won't forget it. The best thing about this tour is where we've been singing, because last year we didn't get to go as many places as we did this year. I guess the Hall of 500 in Florence. I like the paintings and the statues in it and the sound that it made. I remember what I've seen and where I've sang and where we stayed and everything. It's great with everything that Maria Pia has done for us and everything like that, because we never had her before, not last year. I like
liked the Duomo the best because it had a big open dome and everything, and the acoustics were good.
Spend a little time in the Quirinale Palace and you'll see why people so enjoy being head of state. This is the official residence of President Sandro Pertini, Italy's socialist head of state. He doesn't actually live here, but he came to hear the choir here. Performed inside, literally thousands of people waited patiently online outside the palace to get a look at two splendid works of art which were on display in the courtyard. These two bronze statues, made in Greece in the 5th century before Christ. Discovered almost 10 years ago, nearly buried on the bottom of the Ionian Sea, the statues have been restored to a beauty that was already ancient, more than 20 centuries ago. It was also President Pertini's duty to bestow the title and trappings of Commendatore on Fletcher. It is Italy's highest civilian honor, and for all his flippancy about it, Fletcher was pleased by it.
And here I am, a commendatore. I love that. No, I think it was a great honor. It was a beautiful occasion, and anybody else have any more they'd like to bestow upon me, I'm always available for medals and contributions.
Fletcher got a medal, the boys got handshakes and kisses and cookies. Saturday, July 11th, the last full day started with the tourist ritual.
Look at that.
The boys overflowed a souvenir shop just across the street from St. Peter's Square. Sunday morning would be for some quick sightseeing, the Trevi Fountain, monuments, and the Colosseum. But the boys had already seen what is probably Rome's most astonishing sight, the Basilica of St. Peter's, with room inside for 60,000 people. The church, begun in 1506, provided the surroundings for the choir's final public appearance of the tour, an afternoon mass. And for their final selection, the boys filled the sanctuary with the sounds of our land.
This special program was presented by Bank of the South and by Rich Way.
PM Magazine.
5 presents another in our series of locally produced television specials. Tonight, the music of the Atlanta Boy Choir.
Good evening. I'm Paul Raymond, General Manager of TV5. I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas evening, and we would like to make it even more enjoyable. This past summer, 58 members of the Atlanta Boy Choir, under the direction of Fletcher Wolf, toured Italy for 2 weeks. TV5 went with them, and on the 14th of this month, we presented a 1-hour special on the Boy Choir in Italy. Tonight, we invite you to listen and watch as we present the music from that program and the sights from Italy. We will identify each piece of music, and we will show you what each location is. The boys sang and traveled from the Festival of Two Worlds in Spoleto to St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, gracing some of the world's most beautiful cities with their beautiful music. We hope you enjoy this half hour of music by the Atlanta Boy Choir. It is presented by Richway and the Atlanta Coca-Cola Bottling Company with their best wishes and ours for your very Merry Christmas.
I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony.
West Pitt, Georgia meeting. If you can't get to New Orleans, follow the action with Bill Hartman and Bo Bach on TV5 Eyewitness News each night live at 6 and 11. It's the closest thing to being there.
villains plot their mischief. To a tour of the world's most exciting city. Annie's got it all. Annie.
Children half price this week only. Tickets at all Seats locations, the Civic Center, or call and charge.
For Mr. Blake, who sings off-key. For Miguel and Jill and Tom and Lee. For the little girl who lives next door. And that nice boy at the grocery store. For Mr. Wilson, Mrs. Gray, the lady who makes the tears go away.
McDonald's gift certificates, 50 cents each or $5 for a book of 10.
For special people the whole year through. Merry Christmas. From me to you.
You know the best thing about Richway film processing? The price. As low as $1.99.
But what about the quality?
Oh, yeah, fabulous. That's the best thing.
Don't forget, if you don't like a shot, you don't have to pay for it.
Maybe that's the best thing.
So what is the very best thing about Richway film processing?
The very best thing is, everything.
Richway doesn't look like a discount store, but our price tags give us away.
Honest Face, Honest Face. Use it almost any place. Use it for a shopping bash. Use a check. You don't need cash. Honest Face, Honest Face. For this, for that, anything or any place. Honest Face, Honest Face. Use it for check writing. It's the one card that's an ace. Honest Face, Honest Face. So for a shopping bash, use a check. You don't need cash. Now more places love Honest Face.
special program was presented by Richway and your Atlanta Coca-Cola bottlers.
I'm Barbara Vincent, and through the Atlanta network, I've met someone to teach me a variety of home repair skills. Person-to-person networking really works.
Tap, tap, cola, what a beautiful drink. Tap, tap, cola, for beautiful people. Tap, tap, cola, you're beautiful to me. Real cola tastes just 1 calorie. Tap, tap, cola, what a beautiful drink. Tap, 1 calorie, water, 0 tap. You're beautiful to me. Great taste, 1 calorie, tap.
Boy, with only 4 hands, this litter is a serious problem. You can really help. Put all your trash in a can. Atlanta can glitter without litter.
A robbery and shootout in Meriwether County. 2 dead, 3 others wounded. We'll have a full report tonight on Eyewitness News Update at 11.
Merry Christmas from TV5.